In the heart of a serene valley, nestled between towering mountains and whispering pines, there existed a quaint village named Kukan. The name, meaning space, reflected the vastness of the untouched landscapes that surrounded it. In Kukan, there lived a monk named Hiroshi. He was known for his deep wisdom, and a sense of tranquility that seemed to radiate from his very being. Hiroshi had spent much of his life in solitude, seeking meaning in the quietude of the mountains and finding solace in the embrace of nature. One day, a troubled young woman named Aimi arrived at the outskirts of Kukan. Her heart was burdened by the cacophony of city life, the demands of a bustling career, and the relentless pursuit of success. In the search for peace, she had heard tales of Hiroshi and the wisdom he imparted to those willing to listen. With a deep bow, Aimi approached the modest dwelling of Hiroshi. The air was filled with the scent of pine, and the distant melody of a mountain stream created a backdrop for the meeting of these two souls. "Hiroshi-san," Aimi began, "I come seeking peace. The world outside has become a tumultuous storm, and my spirit longs for the calm that eludes me." Hiroshi, with a gentle smile, welcomed Aimi into his dwelling. "Aimi-san, the world is indeed a tempest at times. But within the storm, there exists a quiet center. Let me share with you a story, a journey into solitude and nature. Many years ago, in a distant part of the world, there lived a young monk named Kaito. His heart, much like yours, was burdened by the chaos of the world. Seeking solace, Kaito decided to embark on a pilgrimage to a mountain known for its profound silence. The journey was arduous, a climb that tested both the strength of his body and the resilience of his spirit. Yet, with each step, Kaito felt a burden lifting. The noise of the world below faded, replaced by the symphony of rustling leaves and distant bird calls. Upon reaching the summit, Kaito found a cave, a haven of solitude. The entrance framed a breathtaking panorama of valleys, rivers, and distant peaks. Here, in this sacred space, Kaito decided to dwell. Days turned into nights, and Kaito spent his time in meditation, embracing the silence that enveloped him. He foraged for food in the surrounding woods, drank from pure mountain springs, and slept under a sky adorned with countless stars. In this solitude, Kaito discovered the richness of simplicity. The worries that had plagued his mind in the noisy world below seemed inconsequential against the vast backdrop of nature's grandeur. The mountains, the trees, and the flowing streams became his companions, offering a solace that words could not capture. One day, as Kaito meditated at the cave's entrance, a butterfly landed on his outstretched hand. He marveled at its delicate wings, the intricate dance of colors that seemed to reflect the essence of life itself. In that moment, Kaito realized that nature was not separate from him, it was an extension of his being. News of Kaito's retreat spread, and seekers from far and wide made the pilgrimage to learn from the monk who had found enlightenment in solitude. Kaito, now a beacon of wisdom, shared his insights with those who, like him, sought respite from the chaos of the world. Back in Kukan, as Hiroshi concluded the tale, Aimi sat in thoughtful silence. The story had woven a tapestry of longing and discovery, and its threads resonated with the fabric of her own struggles. "Hiroshi-san," Aimi spoke softly, "how do I find this solitude? The city has wrapped its tendrils around my spirit, and I feel lost." Hiroshi, rising with an effortless grace, gestured towards the mountains that loomed beyond. "Aimi-san, solitude is not merely the absence of noise, it is the presence of stillness within. Nature is a mirror that reflects the tranquility that resides in the core of your being." With Hiroshi as her guide, Aimi embarked on a journey into the mountains. The trails were steep, the air thin, but with each step, Aimi felt the weight of the world lifting. The bustling cityscape faded into the distance, replaced by the symphony of wind and the rhythmic cadence of their footsteps. They reached a plateau, a space where the mountains cradled a tranquil lake. The reflection of the surrounding peaks shimmered on the still waters, creating a mirror that seemed to reflect the depth of Aimi's soul. "Sit, Aimi-san," Hiroshi invited. "Let the mountains be your witnesses, and the lake, your reflection. In this stillness, you may discover the answers that your heart seeks." As Aimi sat in meditation, the boundaries between herself and nature blurred. The rustling leaves became whispers of ancient wisdom, and the distant call of a bird echoed the simplicity of existence. The mountains stood as silent sentinels, guardians of a timeless sanctuary. In the embrace of solitude, Aimi began to unravel the layers of her own being. The expectations, the judgments, and the relentless pursuit of an elusive ideal, all began to dissipate like morning mist. She felt a kinship with the mountains, a recognition of her own strength and resilience. Days turned into nights, and Aimi's sojourn in the mountains became a pilgrimage of self-discovery. In the reflective waters of the lake, she saw not just her physical form but the essence of her spirit, a spirit unburdened by the noise of the world. One evening, as the sun dipped below the peaks, casting hues of orange and pink across the sky, Aimi sat beside Hiroshi. Her eyes held a newfound clarity, and her heart resonated with the quiet wisdom of the mountains. "Hiroshi-san," she said, "I have found a peace that I thought was lost. The solitude of these mountains has become a sanctuary for my soul." Hiroshi nodded, his eyes reflecting the satisfaction of a guide who had witnessed the blossoming of a seeker. "Aimi-san, remember that solitude is not confined to the mountains. It is a state of being that you carry within. As you return to the world, let the lessons of nature guide you." With Hiroshi's guidance, Aimi descended from the mountains, the tranquility of her heart undisturbed by the noise of the world. The journey back to Kukan became a pilgrimage of integration, where the lessons of solitude were woven into the fabric of her daily life. In Kukan, Aimi became a beacon of serenity. The city, once overwhelming, now seemed like a canvas where she could paint strokes of peace and simplicity. Her presence, much like the mountains, inspired those around her to seek moments of solitude amidst the chaos. And so, in the heart of Kukan, where the mountains cradled the village and the pines whispered timeless truths, the legacy of Hiroshi's wisdom and Aimi's journey unfolded. The lesson of embracing solitude and spending time in nature became a cornerstone for those who sought the path of inner peace. As Hiroshi watched the villagers find solace in the embrace of nature, he knew that the echoes of the mountains would continue to guide generations. The world, with all its noise, had within it pockets of silence waiting to be discovered, and each seeker, like Aimi, carried the potential to become a mountain of tranquility in the midst of life's storms. In the spirit of this timeless lesson, let these words be an invitation, a call to find your own mountain, your own lake of reflection, and in the gentle embrace of solitude, discover the vastness of your own being. In the days that followed, Aimi integrated the lessons of solitude into her daily life. The city, once a place of chaos, became a canvas for her to paint strokes of peace and simplicity. Each step carried the mindfulness she had cultivated in the mountains, and the busy streets transformed into pathways of reflection. Aimi's workplace, a bustling hub of activity, seemed a world away from the serene mountains. Yet, armed with the lessons of nature, she navigated through the noise with a newfound grace. The demands of her career, once a cacophony of stress, now became opportunities for mindful engagement. She introduced short moments of stillness into her routine, whether it was a deep breath amidst a meeting or a mindful pause before responding to an email. The ripple effect was subtle but profound. Colleagues noticed a calmness in Aimi that was contagious, and the work environment began to transform. Inspired by Aimi's approach, her colleagues started joining her for short walks in a nearby park during lunch breaks. The park, though small compared to the grandeur of the mountains, became a refuge amid the concrete jungle. Surrounded by trees and the gentle rustle of leaves, the team found moments of collective solitude. As Aimi continued to embody the teachings of Hiroshi, she realized that the essence of solitude was not in physical isolation but in the stillness one could cultivate within. She started a practice of mindfulness, encouraging those around her to join in simple yet profound exercises. During team meetings, Aimi introduced a brief mindfulness session at the beginning. The simple act of closing eyes and focusing on breath allowed everyone to arrive fully, shedding the residue of external pressures. Productivity increased, and a sense of camaraderie deepened. Aimi also started a small community initiative to bring nature into the urban landscape. Together with her colleagues, they transformed a neglected corner of the office rooftop into a green oasis. Potted plants, a small water feature, and benches turned the space into a haven for moments of quiet reflection. The impact of these changes went beyond the professional realm. Aimi's friends and family noticed a positive shift in her demeanor. In social gatherings, she was fully present, engaged in conversations without the distraction of constant notifications. Her home became a sanctuary where the principles of simplicity and solitude were upheld. One day, as Aimi strolled through the park near her office, she encountered a group of young professionals immersed in their devices, oblivious to the natural beauty around them. The scene tugged at her heart, and she felt a calling to share the lessons she had learned. Aimi, in collaboration with her colleagues, organized workshops on mindful living and the art of embracing solitude. The response was overwhelming, and soon, people from different parts of the city were attending these sessions, eager to find a moment of stillness in the midst of their bustling lives. Embracing the digital age, Aimi started a blog and social media accounts dedicated to mindful living. Her posts resonated with a global audience, and messages poured in from individuals who, like her, sought solace in a world that seemed to never pause. In the quiet corners of the internet, a community formed, a virtual sangha where people shared their struggles and triumphs on the path to inner peace. Aimi, humbled by the impact of her journey, became a guiding presence, offering insights and encouragement to those navigating the complexities of modern life. The blog evolved into a platform for guest writers, each sharing their unique perspective on embracing solitude and finding moments of stillness. The community expanded, connecting people from diverse backgrounds, cultures, and professions. The threads of wisdom woven into the digital space created a tapestry of collective introspection. As Aimi continued to inspire change, she received an unexpected invitation. A renowned international conference on mindfulness and well-being sought her as a keynote speaker. The prospect of addressing a global audience was both exhilarating and humbling. On the day of the conference, as Aimi stood on the stage, she looked out at the diverse faces before her. People from different continents, each carrying their own stories of struggle and resilience, were gathered with a shared intent to explore the possibilities of inner peace in a world that rarely paused. Aimi shared her journey, the mountains of Kukan, the wisdom of Hiroshi, and the transformative power of embracing solitude. Her words transcended cultural boundaries, resonating with the universal yearning for a deeper connection with oneself and the world. The conference became a catalyst for a movement. Attendees returned to their corners of the globe, carrying with them seeds of stillness that would sprout into transformative change. Aimi's message, now amplified by a global community, echoed through boardrooms, classrooms, and living rooms, inspiring individuals to reclaim moments of solitude amidst the noise. In the midst of this whirlwind, Aimi remained anchored in the lessons of Kukan. She continued to spend weekends in nature, fostering her connection with the mountains and the quiet wisdom they held. The city, though bustling, became a canvas for her to paint strokes of mindfulness and tranquility. As the years passed, the impact of Aimi's journey reached unforeseen heights. Mindfulness became an integral part of educational curricula, workplaces adopted practices to nurture the well-being of employees, and urban spaces were redesigned to incorporate elements of nature. In a quiet village on the other side of the world, Hiroshi, now an elder monk, received news of the global movement inspired by Aimi. He smiled, realizing that the teachings of solitude, once confined to the mountains of Kukan, had become a guiding light for people navigating the complexities of the modern era. In the spirit of this unfolding journey, let these words be an invitation to find solitude in the midst of chaos, to embrace the stillness within, and to discover, in the gentle cadence of your own breath, the vastness of your own being. As you navigate the currents of life, may you find moments of solitude that become anchors of peace, and may the wisdom of nature guide you on a journey of self-discovery. The world, with all its noise, has within it pockets of silence waiting to be discovered, and each seeker, like Aimi, carries the potential to become a beacon of tranquility in the midst of life's storms.